What's up, you guys? We're back again, and for Do That But Better. What's up, Eric?
How's it going?
Pretty well. So, like we were just talking about, got our final inspections. We're getting ready to move into our new building, and things are getting crazy. And actually, this month is our 10-year anniversary of opening up.
Wow, I was wondering about that. I was looking at the pictures of you guys putting together the front desk, and I was wondering, I was like, it's got to be around 10 years.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. In November, that we started out as the new East Side Gym, and yeah. But yeah, so stuff is getting absolutely crazy. We got the holidays coming up. We've got our grand reopening coming up, and it's just like I don't even know how the heck we're gonna get stuff done. We got kids in multiple sports and just after school activities, and it's
Hmm.
getting absolutely crazy. I think that we're basically booked through the end of the year.
Which is a good feeling. No wasted space, right?
Yep. Yeah, actually, one thing I'm trying to plan is Streetlight Manifesto is playing in Chicago,
Oh,
and
nice.
so I'm trying to get all the old buddies back together.
I just went and saw them, I think at end of August.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was
That,
awesome.
yeah, we've been thinking about taking the kids, but I think that we sort of nixed it. That's mine and Natalie's uh, date night.
Hmm.
We're like, all right, no kids, but I feel like it would be a great show for the kids to have as a family dance party.
Yep.
Get some sweet mosh pitting in.
And I feel like, I don't know, I've seen high schoolers around lately with interrupters shirts on.
Oh, really? It's coming back.
So, yeah, I think ska's on the upswing.
That's awesome. But yeah, so we got the end of year coming up, and like we were talking about, it is tough to try and fit things in. And so, Eric, um, what kind of stuff um, starts limiting us in this end of the year?
Well, and like you said, all of the kids, all of their sports, school programs, whether it's like a Thanksgiving thing or their Christmas programs, they might have practices for those things that all start getting packed together and start overlapping. If they have concerts, that starts showing up. You might have work parties or parties with friends. All of these things
Yeah,
start piling up.
Friendsgiving. You know,
Yep,
yeah,
shopping days,
yeah.
all the things.
And what would you say are the first things to go?
I would say, let's say things that you think of as extra or superfluous,
Mm,
which tend to be uh, cooking, meal prepping, exercise, things that uh, can easily be considered selfish,
yeah.
right? Or yeah, just extra. Like that's usually what gets cut.
It is sort of funny that yeah, nutrition, exercise, and things that really that make you feel good and make you better at all those other things, right?
Yep.
If I need energy to run kids back and forth, or to I don't know, even just have the mental space to plan a party, or
Hmm.
whatever it is, it's like, man, the few things that you need, it's like sleep, exercise, and food, and it's very easy to just throw those right out the window and go, all right,
Yep.
no, I got to do these other things.
Right. And really, like those, how much do you even enjoy the parties or your kids' special events and stuff if you are totally wiped out from not sleeping or cranky because you haven't done anything physical for a couple weeks or you've been eating crappy and now you're already gaining the holiday weight.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of a sudden, none of it is as fun as you hope it would be.
Yeah, you don't get to wear the clothes that you want. You feel crappy in the clothes that you wanted to. You, yeah, you're probably just lethargic. You're eating like crap. And I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard somebody say that when they when they exercise, when they eat well, they feel better, right? And it's like, oh,
Hmm.
well, why would we not do that so that we can optimize what we're doing?
Hmm. Right. And like, that's not to say that you don't have to adjust,
Mm,
you know? Like, I know I bring it up all the time, but think of it as a scale, not a binary. It's not, I either work out or I don't work out, or I eat well or I don't eat well. Like, okay, maybe I work out less. Maybe I work out at home for 20 minutes instead of driving to the gym, be there for an hour, drive back, right?
yeah.
You're not totally cutting it out. You're bringing it down on the scale.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, so it could be the time frame that you do it. It could be the amount of days, but we're still getting it in.
Hmm.
Or yeah, maybe hey, I went from 5 days of exercise to three, but or that's like going to the gym, and then I'm going for a walk at home. I'm gonna do 50 burpees. I'm going to do this thing that keeps me moving and really makes you feel good.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just you're gonna throw in stretching because you're stressed. You're stressed and you just want to decompress a little bit. But getting it in is that important.
Yeah. Yeah, and recognize that it's important to you. You know,
Mm,
like I said, the first things to go are, those workouts, nutrition, sleep, which I think culturally are things that you can cut out,
mm,
right? So like in the fitness culture, those are the important things. But in the broader culture, when you're at work, with work people, the norm, I'm guessing, is, oh yeah, I just don't have time for that.
yeah,
Or it's a holiday, is like screw it. And so then it's like you're allowing other people's priorities to become your priorities.
right. Yeah. Now, so when you were talking about like nutrition, exercise, sleep, I always find it funny. We easily take that out of our life as a priority. But if you talk to any parent, right, your kid is throwing a tantrum, they're just being a crap, and anything is wrong. It's you can usually go to three things, and it's like, were they eating crappy food or are they hungry, right? Do they need to go outside and play, or do they need to take a nap? And when you are feeling that same way, when you are that piece of crap, it's like, what have I not been doing? It's like, all right, what have I been eating? How much have I been sleeping? And did I get to go out and play? Right? And
Yep.
that is what exercise is for adults. No matter what you are training for, that's your playtime, and
Yep.
it will make you feel great. I had somebody, and I love to bring it up. We were texting back and forth, and they had said, when I work out in the morning, everything in my day goes better. Right? They eat better, they feel better, they're more productive, and especially in a busy time, right? Like the holidays are this end of the year. Uh, it is so important to be making sure that I'm running on all eight cylinders. And that is how we do it.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta prioritize those things. And, whether you're a morning person or not, that is the best time as far as making it happen. and
Yeah.
not having those random fires pop up that you have to put out, and people adding demands on your time, pulling you in different directions, either right when you first wake up early in the morning before anyone can bother you, or if you sleep in and you can go to bed later after everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
That which is not the worst. I actually, when I was playing indoor soccer, I slept great because you'd finish, go play a game,
Yeah.
come home, take a cold shower, and then lay down. That would knock me out.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'll tell you, I was just recently talking to one of my mentors about this, and especially just with me, right? So I'm, uh, running the business, right? So trying to run the gym. We're doing all kinds of stuff, and I've got all kinds of fires to put out over at the new place, right? We're planning things coming up and planning moving, and like I said, the kids just started some new activities, and they already had a bunch of activities, and it's like trying to make the schedule. And one of the best things that you can do is put down the important things first. And
Yep.
it's very easy to go, all right, there's like these fires that I'm gonna have to put out, right? And it's like there's always fires, right? There's always an emergency. There's always things that change, but you can put this stuff down. And actually, just this week, because after having this talk, some of the things that I've really been dropping the ball on, before my week started, I put them on the calendar, right? I put my exercise on the calendar. And it's funny because I own a gym. I'm here all the time. But but there's always something that I can do. And especially when I'm here, it's very easy to go, all right, I got to straighten this back out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody didn't put the dumbbells away, and just whatever it is. And you always have that thing that you can, you end up just being busy. You're making yourself busy, right?
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you go, here's my day, and these are the things that are important, and that might be prepping your meals, that might be your exercise, it might be taking a small walk, just because you got to get out of your office,
Yep.
whatever it is. But super important for me because I was just dropping the ball, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden you can spend some deep work on the things that you really need to, and you can do it more efficiently. Because I think if you don't prioritize it, then you start doing that thing, and then you're like, I have to go and do this other. But
Yeah.
it's like, nope, this is my time. And keeping that promise with yourself, when you once it's put down, there's no changing it, right? Now you can, you might, maybe you get done earlier, maybe you get, whatever it is, but it's like, this is the time that I have for this stuff, and when it's on that piece of paper, it's going to be important.
Hmm. Yeah. And that even kind of touches on what we talked about last week with discipline.
Mm,
And those fires, we mentioned fires popping up from other people, but like you're saying, like we create fires, and we didn't hit on procrastination, but I mean that's what it is,
yeah,
right? You should, or how about you planned to do this thing at this time, and now you are finding ways to avoid it. You're finding other things to keep you busy that are not important, and are really ways of procrastinating to avoid that important stuff.
yeah,
That's a huge thing to look out for, is slowing yourself down.
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Especially like I need to think about that as just slowing yourself down, because yeah, when you are just running back and forth, and so like I said, I'm trying to plan the going to this concert, right? And I'm like, should I buy the tickets? Should I not? And it's like, you know what? If it is important, do it. And those other things, like, you're gonna find what your priorities are. Actually, my buddy Angelo. So he told me, he's like, you don't have to tell me what your priorities are. I can tell by your actions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you know, say I go and buy some tickets, and if I really decide that something else is more important, then I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care if I spent that money. If I spent
Mm-hmm.
that money and something else comes up, and the tickets are like $30, right? Now you decide, was it worth $30? And it's so funny how easily all these things that you thought were like were important, you're like, it's not even worth $30. I'm going to the concert instead, right?
Yeah.
And actually, I feel like we I have that trouble a lot, and this is even you know our mom has that decision making problem, right? And I definitely have that where it's like, all right, there's all these things, and you get afraid to make the decision because of, like, it's almost FOMO, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if there's something else? It's like, do I want it? Do I not? And uh, yeah, like just putting it down and just making that decision, and you are gonna adapt if you need to, right?
Yeah.
So listing out those priorities.
Yeah. And I think that is a challenge for a lot of people, in this time of like trying to fit it all in, of like what are the things that are important to fit in? Like what are my highest priorities? And if you've never sat down and really thought about it, you might not know. And so then, and that's where you end up chasing someone else's priorities.
Mm.
That's where you start showing up with all the shoulds, start shoulding all over yourself. Because, like, well, these people are say I should be doing this, so I feel like I should be doing that. And I mean, how often do you have someone walk in the gym and say, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to weigh this much. I want to do these things. You're like, okay, why? I don't know. That's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Right? And like, no, find what's really important to you. And I think what you were saying is a great way of doing it. Make a decision, do it. If you
Yeah.
don't like it, don't do it next time. Pick something else.
Yeah. You
Right?
you
But
all,
that's the only way to find out what your priorities are.
you do have infinite amount of do-overs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always feel like that because, yeah, time goes by, and it's like, all right, is this opportunity going to come again, or whatever it is? But one thing that I keep realizing, because I screw up things all the time, is that you just get to keep going, and it's like, make that decision. If it screws up, you're going to be okay. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it's sort of interesting. So now you were just talking about the shooting. All right. So give me an example of somebody shooting on themselves.
How about I should really go to this work party, even though it's whatever during my kid's Christmas concert.
Hmm.
Like,
All right.
okay, why? So some people would prioritize one over the other. Some people, maybe for a single person climbing the ranks, going to that party and networking with the CEO or whatever is a high priority.
Mhm.
And for someone else, it's like this party comes around every year and there's other stuff, other work events where we interact with everybody. And my kid is only having this concert right, you know, this year,
Mhm.
whatever. Right? So are you going to allow other people's priorities to tell yourself that I should do what they're doing? Or are you going to say, I'm going to do what I want to do? What's highest priority for me?
Yeah, it's almost like worrying about their feelings, you
Yeah.
know. And I've seen this so much in even just with someone trying to eat well, and it's like, but my mom made me this cake, or my, like,
Hmm.
whatever gave me this, so I had to.
Hmm.
And it's like, man, what if they were giving you cocaine? What if like then what would you do, right? And you really just prioritized somebody else's feelings for what your goals might have been.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, that comes up all the time for me. If I go to someone's house or whatever, and people are like, "Oh, I made this gluten-free coffee cake or gluten-free cookies." I was like, "Well, there's a whole plate of gluten-free cookies there and a whole plate of not gluten-free cookies." And I'm the only one who would eat those.
Yeah,
How many of those do I have to eat to make you feel justified in making those cookies?
yeah, oh yeah, that's super hard.
Yep.
All right, so now if all right, so somebody has like should, right? They have some kind of should, um, and now you're starting to prioritize. All right, you start thinking about my is this my feeling or is this somebody else's? How do
Hmm.
we get out of the shoulds?
One way is to add because. So
Okay.
I should do this because, and fill in the blank. And odds are, if it's something that you do want to do, you're going to have a good reason to do it. And if it is not, you're going to come up with really crappy reasons to do it.
Mm.
And that'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, so, all right. So now give me an example. So we can even go with that same example.
Of which one? The cookies
So I
or
should.
the work?
Yeah. Let's go with the work.
Okay. So I should go to this work party instead of my kid's concert uh, because my supervisor is expecting me to. And then if you ask, like, is that accurate? Are they actually expecting me to? Did they say anything to me?
Mm.
Is this required?
Yeah.
No. And then ask, I should go to my kid's concert instead of that party because my kid is expecting me to. And they've said that, most likely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, you could ask, who will notice that I'm at the party or if I'm not at the party? Who will notice if I'm at the concert or not at the concert?
Ooh, yeah.
That that will give you an
Ouch.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and I mean, now you can even take this into, um, going to that party, going to the gym, right?
Yep.
And just fitting in exercise in general. And it's like, should I go to the gym? And if not, like what would I be doing instead? And if I don't go to the gym, what would happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really like start thinking about if you want to be the hero in your story, right? Who would your kids want to be around? You know, the person who kept going to the work party, right? Or the one that ended up being at their thing and doing the things that they wanted to. And I'll tell you what, I had a big problem with this. And so working at the fire department and running the gym, there was so many things that I missed, whether it was practices, games, recitals, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, holidays and all that kind of stuff because I was at one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it took me sitting down with a mentor and going, all right, what are your priorities? And, everyone loves to say all the novel, like the hero things, family and, whatever. And it's like, again, you don't have to tell me. I can tell by your actions. And,
Mm-hmm.
I was making trades at the firehouse to come and do things at the gym and not making trades for a recital.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, how can I say that? And like, man, when I got punched in the face with that, it was huge. And really, I think that we need to clarify what are we even trying to do? And this isn't anything, right? Whether it's at the gym, in life, in business, in our relationships, and finding out what are my goals in my relationships, right? What are my health goals? What are, like, do I want to run? Do I want to run the company that I'm working for, or do I just want to come in and get my paycheck, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And each of those things is going to take different actions. And so once you define that, these decisions start to look easier when you start thinking about it this way. Now, it's really hard in the moment to be thinking like that, because you get presented with a situation. Hey, are you going to the Christmas party? And it's like, and if you're not thinking about what your priorities are, what are my values, like what do I hold highest in this moment, it gets really hard to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get that question and you are and you already have your values and your priorities set, it makes it so much easier. I feel like that was one of the best thing, actually. So like we were talking about, I was not eating on Sundays. I did it a couple weeks, and actually this last weekend I actually forgot. I didn't eat a bunch, and then right around dinner time we had some food out, and I grabbed some, and here's the thing: it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I had rules, right? So like for the first 2 weeks I had some rules, and it was like I'm not going to. So when the situation comes, I already have an answer. If my kid says, "Hey, do you want this piece of Halloween candy?" I can easily go no,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I already stated what my priority is, right? And the same thing, if you go, "Hey, no matter what, I'm gonna work out 3 days a week," right? And somebody says, "Hey, we've got this Christmas party," and you're like, "All right, well, maybe I'm gonna be late." Because I've got this to do. Because
Yep.
maybe I'm trying to better my health for my kids. I want to be able to run around with my kids when I'm 80. I don't ever want to tell my kids that I can't play with them in the backyard because I'm out of breath. Whatever the heck it is. Maybe I'm trying to get off diabetes medication. Maybe I'm trying to get off high blood pressure medication, right? What are my priorities? And then what are the actions that I need to do? And when you set up those rules, all these things become a little bit easier.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean that's what we were talking about last week with uh, discipline, is that you create that framework. So you create that structure in your schedule of these are my priorities and here's where they fit in. Like you said, take those important things, put them on the calendar first, and everything else fits around that stuff.
This actually, like one of the first times that I really did this with, especially with relationships, right? This year we sat down and did like a family like planning, and our we scheduled our vacations. We said what we wanted to do, and this was in January. We put it down, and then Natalie and I said that we're going to have a date night every month. And dude, I just said Natalie and I. I've made a point to never do that. I always want to go me and. Dang it, my kids in the reading. But anyways, uh, so we wrote down that we're going to do it, and then we put it on the calendar. And there's actually, so far we've hit every single one, and we've only had to change, I think, maybe one from the weeks that we put down in January. And it's not because we were such good guessers on what the rest of our year was going to be like. It's that we literally said this is going to be a priority, and once we put it on that paper, we were able to do it, and it was absolutely amazing. And you know, like I said, talking to my mentor just recently and starting to put some of these things on paper, because I have a horrible time planning. I start thinking of, well, what if this happens? Well, who cares? What if it doesn't, right? And so, you want to start what ifing the good shit, right? What if
Mm-hmm.
I get to do all the things that I want, right? Um, what if I go to my kids' um, recital and they give me a big hug, right? What if what if I don't go to the Christmas party and nobody cares, right?
Yep.
It's like, all right, maybe we should start turning those what ifs around and putting them into a good light and going, what if I get everything that I've wanted?
Absolutely. And then, I mean, that's, like you said, that's planning. So when you're putting those things on the calendar and you feel that FOMO, like we were talking about earlier, like, but, like put it on the calendar, give yourself the structure, and then you start to get into that routine of like actually checking your calendar and sticking to the things that you plan, right?
Yeah,
And you can create an environment around yourself that makes those things easier. So maybe the people around you and the schedule that you're using and your shopping routine, who knows, fill in the blank. You start to build the environment around yourself that makes it most likely that those things are going to happen.
yeah, for sure. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that this is like a great time to start looking into the future because these last 2 months of the year, they're done. You're over, and you better start planning for this next one.
Hmm.
And so start putting it down. Just start thinking, all right, what do I want in my relationships? What do I want in my health? What do I want in my business? And what do I want for myself? And uh, you don't have to have it done right away. But if you start planning this out as you get through these holidays um, and just these busy times, then you can really start having that structure that you were talking about to go forward in everything you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and even how do I want to feel or look um January 1st?
Mm. Yeah.
You know, once we're through all these holidays, how do I want to look back on these 2 months?
Oh yeah. I like
That
it.
gives you some guidance.
Yeah. Was I in control,
Hmm.
or was I just running around doing things for other people?
Yep.
Stop doing things for other people. Is that what we're saying going into the holiday season?
Yeah.
That can't be
Merry
considered
Christmas, you filthy animal.
good. There you go. I think that's a great place to leave it. So yeah,
Yep.
fit it all in, but fit in the things that you want to fit in.
Hmm. Yeah. Fit all of the things that you want to fit in.
Yeah.
Don't fit it all in.
Ooh, I like that. Awesome. Eric, I will see you next week, and you guys, we will see you again next week at 11:30 for Do That But Better.
All right. See you later.